Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video, what we're going to look at today is a story of, well, you know, greedy Gus's, as usual, nervous Nellies, and poor Peggies. Okay, there's actually only one of them in this story, but those adjectives, they still apply. I stand by them. Within a spit of New York lies Headless Horseman country, the beautiful and historic Hudson Valley.
I just see nothing but cluckiness on me. I do. I just see nothing but cluckiness. Oh my God.
There, a tale as old as time itself, going back to the dinosaurs, you know, when they were yapping away or barking or whatever. That's what they sounded like, you know, greed. You know, what's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. And it's a story of assembling a team of just you know, crack dummies. So let's give it a go.
Give it a go. Oh, this is real footage?
From New York City, if you were to follow the Hudson north, you'd be entering sleepier and sleepier suburbs, where commuters every day drive and rail into the metropolis. About 40 minutes by train from Grand Central Station, fittingly enough, that's where you would find the famous Sleepy Hollow, home of the legendary Headless Horseman. But just across the Hudson River from Sleepy Hollow and Tarrytown, where the New Jersey Palisades end, you would spy Clarkstown, a lovely little town, a nice place to live, with all the bonuses of living out of the city while still within range of it. The Goldilocks zone, you know. It's not like so far you're in the sticks, but you can see them from here, where, you know, you got the forest and the urban jungle within driving range. It's home to roughly 85,000 people, and one of those 85,000 people was Peggy Nadell. In 2014, Peggy had reached the mighty age of 80. She had been married to Rob Nadell, who had passed over a decade before, and had 2 children, James and Suzanne. Peggy was born in 1933, if you can believe that. A native of Brooklyn, baby, that's where she met future husband Rob, a warm and kind man. After the marriage and the kids and getting bored with being a stay-at-home mom, she decided to go back to studying. This was in the 1960s, eventually going to work at Xerox. Xerox is one of those companies I've always heard of, but never had a clue what they did.
I can't type. I don't take dictation. I won't sharpen pencil. I can't file. My boss calls me indispensable.
What? Am I the only one that's getting like a sexy vibe from, like, I feel like she's just doing it all seductively? Or is that just me? Please tell me that's not just me.
Miss Jones.
Just a minute.
Will you make a copy of this?
Naturally. I push the button.
Wait a minute. Wait. Go back. Excuse me. I farted. Oh, God. Okay, he said make a copy of this. Like, just a copy of those 2 pages that she sees? Or every single paper? Because every single paper, come on, bro. Oh my God. And God forbid the printer stopped working, the copier machine stopped working. My ass.
I pushed the button on the Xerox 914.
Basically, they made like printers and paper and shit. I thought trees did that. Basically, the first people to mass produce photocopiers, I understand. Today, God only knows. Interesting tidbit though, I'm gonna go off on one of my usual tangents, is that like, back in the day, people would say Xerox something, you know, would you copy that? Oh, I'll Xerox it for you. You know, the way you'd say like, I'll Google something now today. But Xerox kind of shot themselves in the foot because they thought that people saying Xerox stuff all the time would be trademark infringement, as in I'll Xerox you a copy. So they asked people to stop saying like Xerox it and just say photocopy it or copy it instead. So people were saying their company name like every day and they asked them to stop. So today we say photocopy something and literally no one has a clue what Xerox is. Alright, I need to stop going on tangents. At the time, Peggy was one of the few women in the office. One of the few honeys back in the day, but she rose quickly to the top dog position. Her children, Susanna and James, each married, Susie a welder named Bobby, James a woman named Diana Martinez, later Diana Nadell. Peggy, after her husband passed and she retired, began traveling the world. She was a political activist and was heavily involved in her own Jewish community and spent a lot of time with Susie, her husband Bobby, and her grandchildren. James, Diana, and their children lived down in Florida and weren't as close. Not like Susie and Peggy, who would see each other, or at least talk to each other, every single day. And so when one day Susan couldn't get through to her mother, she drove over. That day was a cold and snowy 25th of January 2014. Susie couldn't get through to her mother, Peggy, that morning, as she, always did. And so Susie called Diana, who was down in Florida. Was like, have you heard anything from her? And Diana had her own relationship with Peggy. They were close in her own way. Peggy doted over her grandchildren and helped them out financially as much as she could. And Diana said she'd called at like 7:30 a.m. and she couldn't get through to her. So Susie decided to drive over there. She was calling her phone, she was calling her home phone, she was calling her mobile phone, and all she was getting was this. Yes. When she got out of her car and approached the house, she saw Peggy's car was still there, and, well, began to fear something had happened to her mother, who was getting on in years. Something had happened, but not what she had been expecting. She found Peggy Nadell at the bottom of the stairs, crumpled up. Bloody. Bloody because she had a knife sticking out of her chest.
Oh.
Now, what your first thought is when you see someone on the ground, bloody, with a knife in their chest? What you would think your first thought is going to be, Susie had a very different thought. Susie thought her mother had fallen on the knife and then hit her head, as it looked battered. So Susie took out the knife. She took it out as she wanted to do CPR. Now her mother was like ice cold at this.
You took out the knife? That's not a good look, I don't think. I don't think that's a good look. Why would you touch? Don't touch nothing. At all. At all. The fact that you took out the knife on me.
And so she'd be doing it for a while.
I need an ambulance right away.
Ma'am, calm down. What's going on there?
I see my mother fell down the stairs and with a knife in her hand and stabbed herself.
What Susie believed happened, and what she told the responding officers, was that Peggy must have tripped over the cat, stabbed herself, and then fallen down the stairs. An almost comical series of events, but then Charlie's tried to get me a few times. The little shit. But detectives, having seen stuff like this before, could tell she hadn't fallen. She'd been beaten, strangled, and stabbed to death.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, yo, these stories take a sharp turn to the left. Damn, I did not see that coming. So, did she not notice what? The bruises? The other marks on her body? She just saw the stab. She just saw the knife in her chest. I'm not saying she wasn't.
Started in the bedroom, to the landing, to the bottom of the stairs, in a heap on the floor. Chairs had been pulled out as if two people had been chatting, having a cup of tea. Missing was Peggy's computer, purse, and jewellery. It looked like a staged burglary, as in two people had been having a coffee. Peggy probably knew them. It wasn't a home invasion, it was just made to look like one. And it looked like things had been perfectly placed where they thought burglars might place them. And in the snow outside, they found no footprints other than the responding officers. So it didn't look like people had been wandering around, casing the joint. and the door had been opened from the inside. There was no forced entry, and the key was still in the door.
We spoke just a second ago with Sergeant Glenn Cummins, and this is what he has to say.
The investigation is still in its nascency. All we can release at this point is that we're...
Wait, there was no other footprints around the perimeter of the house. So, who was the one that just saw? Was that the daughter that just saw her mom? Or somebody? Who was the... What about the person's footprints? What about the person that saw her? The mom, I guess. What was her footprints? She sus.
Getting a suspicious death of an 81-year-old female, Peggy Nadell, and she lives at 644 Andover Road in Valley Cottage. Again, the investigation is still in its infancy, so that's all the information that we can release at this point.
It was an individual that had really a love affair for our town and cared deeply about the community, and her death is just shocking to all of us.
Peggy was a wonderful lady, you know, and our condolences to her family. Yeah, a really nice lady.
And so the first suspects were...
Okay, it was either an inside job or somebody on the outskirts. They was just cruel and heartless. It didn't care one bit.
Obviously, Susie and Rob, the person who took out the murder weapon out of the dead body. Not a good look. In the slightest. Susie told the police that landscapers or modelers had been around. Oh, hey, maybe you should investigate them. And it's not like, you know, a lot of people wouldn't have had a chance to scope out the place. But evidence left behind? Non-existent. No forensics, no prints. But, and there's always a big booty, is that Peggy, she was very wealthy. You guys, you know, silver lining. And all that, it turns out that she would leave a shit. You know, like my life insurance stance, I think I need a inheritance stance. It's coming up again and again. $4 million was in the Peggy Nadell estate, you know, left behind. In this economy? Susie, knife wielder. Oh no, my fingerprints. They're on the murder weapon. Oh boy. Oh jeez. I mean, I even thought this was an accident. I'm pretty sure, like in a Marx Brothers series of events, she tripped over her cat, stabbed herself, and then fell down the stairs. Guys, this is definitely not a murder. But if you're saying it's a murder, well, I have no idea who could have done it. Definitely not me. The only person whose prints and evidence are around the place. Yes, I initially said it was an accident, but if you guys are saying it's not an accident and it's a murder, well, who could have done it? Definitely wasn't me who was involved in my mother's murder, because I didn't even think it was a murder, so it definitely wasn't me, guys. Not the person who has the motive who would inherit a lot of money. Definitely not me. When do I get my $4 million? Can I get it today? Where's my money?
I'm saying. So
Susan and Bobby eventually hired an attorney. The scrutiny was on so hot. The police, though, were going through, well, everything they could. And they found out that in the wee hours before Peggy was found, at around 1 a.m., she'd received a call to her home phone. Odd time for a lady like this to get a call. And following up on that, it was traced to a burner phone. Alright, now you make my prick perk up. Shortly after that, the alarm at Peggy's house, it went... alarm noise. Then the alarm company called. Peggy was like, yeah, hey, it's me. So clearly... the alarm went off and she opened the door. She must have known whoever it was.
Hello, this is the monitoring center with Bullet Security.
This is Peggy Nadell. The code word is Max. I'm sorry.
That's okay, ma'am.
Everything's fine.
I'm glad everything's okay. We'll disregard for you. Have a good night.
But everything not fine.
So she received a call and opened her door, almost 100% to someone she clearly knew well. Then they sat down, had a chat, and then maybe went to the bedroom, scuffle, crash bang wall, down the stairs, avec knife. This actually started to lead away from Suzanne, and tracking her movement that day led to her just seemingly having a very normal day. But of course, Susan wasn't the only person to benefit from Peggy Nadell's death. What about James Nadell and his wife Diana, who were all the way down in Florida? Well, James was in Florida at the time. They lived close to Miami, and his wife Diana was in Washington, D.C. Both their phones were where they said they were. But Diana, her activity was kind of weird. A lot of random numbers she called very often, and never before or again around the time she went to Washington, D.C. She said she had been there for a wedding, but her stories kind of conflicted about what she did during those few days. And the numbers she had called weren't linked to any wedding party members, but she didn't speak to a single person the night of the murder, and no calls were to the burner phone. But burner phones are interesting, right? You know, they're secret phones, prepaid phones. They're most used by, well, drug dealers, and maybe somebody having an affair, or somebody trying to plot a murder. So regular people kind of would have difficulty tracing them, but not the police. The number of the burner phone can be traced to where it was bought and when it was bought. And then if you have CCTV of when and where, you can find out who they did. It was purchased in Florida, near Diana's home, but it wasn't Diana. It was a woman named Karen Ham Samuels, one of Diana's frequent callers. But she wasn't the one who activated the prepaid phone. You have to call a number to activate it. She only bought it. It was activated by another woman, an Andrea Benson, another one of Diana's frequent callers. So what exactly was going on with Diana when she was in DC? She'd been making some suspicious phone calls around the time, nothing definite but certainly odd. And now she's being linked to the burner phone used to contact Peggy the night of the murder. And of course, also as daughter-in-law, she stood to inherit a nice chunk of cha-ching. In DC, at the airport, she met Andrea Benson. They hung out that day, and that night Andrea's phone, at least her phone, traveled all the way to the Hudson Valley. At the time, Diana's phone was in DC.
I gotta say, I like him, like his stories and the way he does it, because he has like real. I haven't, I still only reacted to like a few of his videos, but I like the fact that he has like real images, real video, audio and stuff like that. So that's a plus. I love that. So that's really I'm going to keep reacting to him. If there's any videos from him you want me to react to, let me know that in the comment section below.
But was Diana? Well, wiretapped calls showed she certainly wanted her friends to say she was.
So it was 9 in the morning to now, or was it 9 at night to 6 and right? Exactly. Which one? 9 at night.
Diana stay overnight with you?
Yeah, it's not. She was with me 9 o'clock, and she then leaves me until 6.
She had also spoken to Karen Ham Samuels, who said Diana told her she was there. There being Peggy's house.
She did say that she was there at the mother house. Just tell you who stabbed her. No.
Soon the police felt they had all their ducks in a row and clapped the cuffs on old Diana.
They think I killed my mother-in-law? Is that what you're telling me? I did not murder my mother-in-law.
In May 2014, her and Andrea were both arrested and both charged with first and second degree murder.
Okay, Jesus. I knew it was an inside job.
The investigation into the murder of Mrs. Peggy Nadell is active and ongoing. As in any criminal investigation, we will have to be circumspect in what we can and cannot release to the public at this time. I can report to you that the following people were arrested on Tuesday, May 20th, 2014, in relation to the Peggy Nadell homicide. Diana Nadell, age 50. Andrea Benson, age 25.
It appears that Diana paid Andrea Benson 10 big ones to be her travel buddy / kill buddy. She helped me off an L, and this footage, though, of, Andrea and Diana meeting, that was in fact the first time they had ever met. They had been introduced via a mutual friend. And as they were in the car just spinning along, Diana just kind of blurted it out. I'm looking to get about $2 million. You wanna help me kill someone? I'll give you 10 grand. And Andrea was as shocked as that, and then was like, sure, fuck it, why not? So then they drove together from Washington, D.C. all the way to...
Hey, I see the motivation. $2 million plus an extra $10,000. That's a lot of money. But it's still... That's still... I hope they're doing life. I hope they're doing life. Or... You know... Not 99 years plus of no chance of parole. Or no, just life. But it's crazy what people would do with for money. In all sizes. Small amount of money or big amount of money. It's crazy what people would do for money.
Clarkstown, New York. Along the way, they activated the burner phone and called Peggy in the middle of the night. They showed up at her doorstep after 1 o'clock in the morning. Surprise! Yeah, surprise. They talked for a while. I guess Peggy got a bad feeling, tried to escape to the bedroom. She didn't have a chance. Also arrested was Tanisha Joyner, the woman behind this voice.
She was with me 9 o'clock.
She was charged with rendering criminal aid after giving the false alibi for Diana. Karen Ham Samuels wasn't charged. She just bought the phone, didn't have a clue. And it also appeared that James Nadell, Diana's husband and Peggy's son, he hadn't a clue about what his wife was doing, what she was plotting. You know, to kill his mother. Out of nowhere, I might add. I mean, it was inheritance. I mean, Peggy wasn't a spring chicken. They probably would have gotten that money sooner rather than later. But for some reason, Diana, dipshit Diana over here, she tried to assemble, you know, like the Avengers on her little plot. It's like Ocean's 11 or something, you know, the Avengers. More like the shit Avenger. Fuck. Andrea Benson pled guilty and will be...
What you crying for? What you crying for? What? You set this up. Those are fake ass kids. What you crying? I hate when people do that. I hate when people like do something so clucked up. Then they get caught and now they bawling their eyes out. What you crying for? You set this up. She's dead. You got nothing. Except to hopefully spend the rest of your life behind bars. Just saying.
Sentenced to 20 to life.
Oh! Can we get a round of applause? Wait. Okay. Something I don't understand when they give... Another thing I don't understand when they give sentences to criminals. He just said 20 to life. So, like, in 20 years? What does that mean? 20 years? Does that mean, like, 20 years to life? Or after 20 years, you have a chance of parole? Or, I don't understand what it means when somebody says 10 years to life, 30 years to life. Like, I don't know what that means. Somebody can explain that in the comment section below. It'd be great.
Diana pleaded not guilty. Me? Don't know what you're on about here. Pull the other one.
Charges against this woman have been upgraded to first-degree murder for her alleged role in a brutal crime that left an 80-year-old woman dead.
Until when she was in jail, awaiting trial, she tried to have Karen Ham Samuels, the woman who said that Diana had told her she had been in Peggy's house that night. In jail, Diana tried to have her killed. So...
I said it's absolutely imperative the longer man he's got to get rid of.
After that, Diana pleaded guilty, looking rather silly.
I would like to say that I'm very sorry for my actions and that I am extremely sorry for any pain I may have caused, especially to my husband.
She would get...
You're not sorry. You're not sorry. And I hope somebody cuts your ovaries.
Sentenced 23 years to life in prison. The sentencing was a little rowdy. Susanna didn't hold back.
You were born in paradise and you're going to die in hell. You had the audacity to come back to New York and pretend to mourn after brutally strangling, bludgeoning, and stabbing my mother to death.
Nor did her husband Bobby, who had to be removed from the court. Fair play to you, Bob.
My Diane's a piece of garbage.
Have a seat. Ma'am, have a seat. Everybody remain seated. Don't worry about the glasses.
Okay.
Everybody stay seated.
Okay. Okay.
And so ends the story of Peggy Nadell, a woman who gave everything. And it still wasn't enough. Greedy D over here. You know, much like life insurance, inheritance is something we see coming up again and again and again. It needs its own dance, to be fair. And almost seems kind of worse to me as a motive than life insurance. Because with inheritance, you know, you're kind of likely to receive it anyway. And I guess kind of killing your parents is kind of worse than killing your spouse or whatever. I presume James is absolutely livid for bringing Diana in. Diana, she's probably pretty livid too, after getting caught in a fucking dumbass way. What a dumpling. Dipshit Diana, I call her. Or will call her. Although I'll probably never speak about her again. I should have used that from the start. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this whole video. If you're hearing my, you know, voice right now, it means you made it to the end, so fair play. You watch more of my videos, go on, why not? But really, here, thank you so much. I appreciate it a lot. And here, I'll see you as always, you know, next Tuesday or next Friday, when I'm always posting. Tuesday. So till then, though, please, you know, take care of yourselves.
No, next Tuesday. Tuesday.
Okay.
Tuesday? If there's any videos of him you want me to react to, let me know that in the comment section below. I just want to let y'all know, check y'all peoples, check your partners, check your best friends, check your co-workers, you know, check your neighbors. You know what I mean? Nobody really safe out here. Yeah, I knew that shit was an inside job. It was either an inside job or it was just some random person that was just straight evil. Jesus. And if it was really about the money, they could have waited. They could have waited. Come on now. Jesus. But keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you. Stay happy. My family.